Well, hello everybody. Hope this is working just fine. Well, kind of out here on a limb for you, everybody. My name is Mark Rubin. I am very, very pleased to be with you all, and here at the auspices of the New World Deli. They're in Austin, Texas, a place that I loved to come to, and I'm going to go on record to say that the New World Deli had the best Reuben sandwich in all of Austin, Texas, and I know for a fact because that's my namesake. So if you're curious, I don't live in Austin, Texas anymore. I have become a refugee. I live in New Orleans now. I make this my home. I do come to Austin, Texas as much as I can. Some of you may remember I had a group called Bad Livers for a long time, and I worked with the banjo player Danny Barnes. And for a long time, I was a sideman, playing the bass and playing the tuba for folks. But once I moved out here to New Orleans, I got really inspired and I came up with my own music. But you know, it was really tough. It was really tough being a sideman for so long and working for other people. And then, you know, being forced to play music on your own, it's a little tough. It's a little difficult. I hope everybody can hear me, by the way. I'll try and lean into the mic when I'm talking. But it's really tough. And a songwriter friend of mine said, "Look, man, when you get like hit a wall or you hit something that vexes you or kind of upsets you, just try and work it out in a song, man." And so I kind of did, because you know the truth is that music is something that you're supposed to do with other people. It's something that so when you're all by yourself, it just doesn't feel right. Isn't that right? Is it something that you ought to do with people? Because simply, friends, I didn't get in this to play all by myself. It's always so much better when there's somebody else. Lots of folks I know real well, they can do it all by themselves. But I'll confide, I'm terrified to play all by myself. Singer-songwriters are uniformly jerks. It's true, come on. They're conceited loners with unpleasant quirks. How they do annoy me, well, they all bore me to tears. But a recent cost analysis says alone that I'll be here. Well, then now that I'm among them, well, I better eat a little bit of crow. You know, we're actually warrior poets, just like troubadours of old. And since the time of Ovid, this truth I shall tell. People like a good story, and they like it told real well. Yoodle-yoodle-yoodle-hoo, yoodle-yoodle-hoo, yoodle-yoodle-yoodle-hoo, bop-diddle-hoo, bop-diddle-doo, 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 you bop-diddle-diddle-diddle-hoo, doodle-doo. Well, I'm sitting here in our chair all alone with my dogs. You know, my picking isn't just about all right, but it's more often wrong. Well, lots of folks I know real well, they can pull it all by themselves. I can find I'm terrified to play all by myself, 'cause I didn't get in this to play all by myself. You know, you get a better brain chemistry if you're playing with someone else. Lots of folks I know real well, they can do it all by themselves. But I can find I'm terrified to play all by myself. Yoodle-yoodle-hoo, yoodle-yoodle-yoodle-yoodle. It's true, friends, it's tough. It's a frightening thing just to sit here and sing you some songs just all by myself, you know. But I'm gonna do my damnedest. I'm gonna do my damnedest. I hope you can hear me real well. I'm working out this new thing about playing music just here, trying to break this fourth wall and trying to communicate with you, and hopefully y'all are enjoying what I'm doing. Now, there in Austin, Texas, there's a wonderful man. His name is Kevin Russell, and he's got him a group. He had him a group for many years called the Gourds, and now he goes by the moniker Shiny Ribs, which is kind of an interesting name. I've known Kevin Russell since 1985. Since 1985, we've been hanging out. We've been playing in bands and hanging out, And when I put together my record, Songs for the Hangman's Daughter, and I'm going to play you a bunch of songs from that release right now, I asked him if he would write me a song. And thus far, I'm the only person he's written a song for outside of his own group. And so I'm not quite sure if he wrote this song for me or about me. So we're going to do you a little number right here. So, okie doke, a little thing called the Shipwrecked Man. I woke up on the wrong side of the bed, climbed a stone, turned it inside out and called it my head. Got choked up thinking about those things that she did. I was filled with misery. I wanted to kill everything. I remembered the story about that shipwrecked man who cursed the ocean from his solitary strip of sand. I himself, he was never saved. He died with fists arrayed. I went back to sleeping and I slept a little dream about a mermaid in love with a merchant marine. She said, in the ocean things are not much what they seem. Well, I was saved by the wind, but it had passed and I was free again. I don't want to live like that old shipwrecked man who searched the ocean for his solitary strip of sand. I want to be saved in peace and love forever in my name. The Shipwrecked Man, the first track off of my record, Songs from the Hangman's Daughter. You can find that record on Bandcamp, and I used to be on CD Baby, but they got rid of that stuff. The name of my act, you may have noticed, I bill myself as Mark Rubin, Jew of Oklahoma. So my name is Mark Rubin. The name of my act is the Jew of Oklahoma. Why is my name of my act Jew of Oklahoma? You may ask. Well, I'm a 54-year-old man, and when you lived in small town Oklahoma and you weren't like everybody else, boy, they let you know it. They really let you know it. And they kind of made you feel bad about it. In our case, they would burn crosses in our yard, believe it or not. And yeah, friends, that was the late 60s, early 70s. And black folks got it hard, and gay folks got it hard, and we got it hard too. And it kind of defined, you know, you talk about identity, people kind of put identity upon you sometimes. And in my family, what that did for us was that made us harder a little bit. That kind of solidified our identity, and it allowed us to know ourselves a lot better. And it also, we were Southerners. My father was born in Arizona, and I was born there in Oklahoma, and we insisted on being neighbors and being local. So this is a warning, by the way. I'm going to set out a warning. There's a little bit of an insulting phrase in this next tune, but I want to go on record. This is something my father taught me to say. So whenever I was insulted in a very particular way by people, and I was regularly insulted by people, A teacher, in fact, once said this to me, and he taught me to respond in a very particular way. When someone said this insult to me, to respond in a particular way. So I'm going, this is what the kids call a trigger warning. Are you ready? So this is a song about my life growing up. It's called Southern Jews is Good News. Well, Southern Jews are good news, baby. Well, Southern Jews is a damn good news. Southern Jews are good news, baby. Well, it's just them Yankees I'm worried about. You got them Jews down in Oklahoma. Well, ask the average landsman. You got them down in Tennessee. You got them down in Alabama. Yes, sir. Well, heck yes, I say, can you max a leave to this? It's good news, because New York City seems a mighty exotic to us Southern Jews. Well, we take a bacon off of our cheeseburger, and we greet you with a howdy ho. We'll drive to shul on Shabbos in our best dressed overalls. Our Yankee friends' poor manners, well, we must often excuse. Ain't no pigs and poke, and we ain't no joke. We're the down-home Southern Jews. Well, now, Southern Jews are good news, baby. Well, Southern Jews is a damn good news. Southern Jews are good news, baby. Well, it's just them Yankees I'm worried about. Do-dee-doodle-doo-doodle-doo-doo. You know, well, some folks down here say we pass for white. Well, at least we ain't black. Well, it might be true for some down here, but you always gotta watch your back. Well, our skin tone gives us some relief, and some days we get to choose. You gotta navigate your privilege when you live as a Southern Jew. Well, let me tell you about Judah Benjamin, the Confederate Secretary of State. Well, on the side of that war, we sided on the side of hate. Well, the war of northern aggression, well, y'all think about a higher score. But if you look down south today, you gotta say y'all sure enough lost that war. Well, did we kill your Lord? Heck, yes, we did. Bring him back and we'll kill him again. And the good old boys all belly laugh, cause we're all the best of friends. I warned you. Well, that sort of talk might shock you. In fact, it might confuse. But it's crap like that all the live long day when you live as a Southern Jew. Well, now Southern Jews is good news, baby. Southern Jews is a damn good news. Southern Jews are good news, baby. Well, it's just them Yankees I'm worried about. All right, the banjo got good and out of tune in that one too, just because. Warned you. True story though. It wasn't exactly the best upbringing, but whatever. Was it Kierkegaard? It said something about. No, it wasn't Kierkegaard. We can talk about Kierkegaard later. That comes up in another song. This one, however, it was about, as I mentioned on my record, it was when I was leaving Austin, Texas, that I went to go see my psychologist. He had done a lot of good work for me in my life, and I wanted to tell him how much I appreciated that. And I had all my stuff packed up, and I was leaving Austin, and I had my trailer and everything. I was getting ready to go, and I went by him, and I was going to say goodbye to him, and he stopped me dead in my tracks, and he goes, "Mark, hey man, hey, we're going to have to go down to Shoal Creek." And people in Austin know what that means. The Shoal Creek is the mental institution down there. It's the charity mental institution. And he says, we're going to have to get you diagnosed. You're having a hypomaniacal episode, and I'm really scared for you. And that was a bit of a wake up call right there. And I said, well, I can't do that. I'm going to New Orleans right now. And what happened was I promised him that I would seek help when I got here. And I've been real lucky. I'm a client of the New Orleans Musicians Clinic, which has been a wonderful organization. And they've gotten me help and medication and good counseling. And it's been revelatory. And I think it's important that we do our best to those of us who suffer, and the word is suffer, from mental illness, we should be upfront about it and talk about it as much as possible, and we should demystify it because there's a lot of folks out there having sufferation. And so, once again, this is an ode to bipolarism, and this is kind of how I personally experience it. So, once again, trigger if those sorts of things upset you. I would maybe step out just for a moment. So this is kind of my read. Each morning I wake and it starts. Says I'm ugly and I'm not that smart. In the shower it tells me who deserves my worst. These voices inside my mind instruct me who I should malign, how to hurt them and where to hide their corpses. It's my constant companion, these dark narratives of great highs and lows uncontrolled. Unable to manage these chemical imbalance, I'd be a smooth train wreck, I'm told. There's a long trail of upset folks. When my name's said, it only evokes foul memories, the results of my poor decision. Unhinged and on the loose, unable to my abuse. It's a wonder I've yet to land in prison. It's my constant companion, these dark narratives of great highs and lows uncontrolled. Unable to manage this chemical imbalance, I'll be a slow-moving train wreck, I'm told. Grown weary of the voices that control all my choices. You know, my real friends, they say this crap's gotta end, but they've been there all the time, these dear friends of mine, through each torture, rant, and distraction. It's my constant companion, these new revelations, to reckon with all that I've done. But without medication, just shy of sedation, I'd be a slow-moving train wreck, I'm told. But without medication, I'd be a slow-moving train wreck, I'm told. Slow-moving train wreck. You bet. Well, let's lighten it up just a little bit, shall we? Let's just lighten it up a little bit. For a long time, and still in some cases, I would self-medicate. And, oh, wow, man, I left my kazoo. How many times do you hear that on on one of these gigs, huh? I've always, there's a line, a songwriter line I've always wanted to use. I haven't used it yet, but this is the songwriter line. I'm going to write a whole song around this line. I knew he was a fink when he recoiled at the sight of my kazoo. Yeah, I had a band breakup over the fact that I used a kazoo. Yeah, man. Well, life is strange. But this song usually has a kazoo, but I will use my mouth. first you take a little hit, and then you take a toke, and then every day you gotta smoke, smoke, smoke. I tell you, my friends, I got a problem with dope, 'cause I've been smoking too much weed. Seriously. Well, it ain't cocaine, and it ain't smack, it ain't heroin, and it sure ain't crack. But if you smoke it enough, you might develop a habit much like that, if you're smoking too much weed. Well, I had me some dreams. I had me some home. But I just got a call from a dealer friend of mine, and he's got me some good smoke. Yeah. Well, here's the truth. Well, it eases my pain. It keeps me off prescriptions and settles my brain. But I'll eat a dozen donuts standing naked in the rain when I'm smoking too much weed. I'm diabetic. That's an issue. Well, friends, don't get heavy, and then don't get me wrong. You know, I really don't mind if you're hitting the bong. You know, but some nights I just can't come along if I'm smoking too much weed. Well, I had me some dreams. I had me some smoke. Now, you know, it's funny. We're singing the song and everything about drugs and everything. And, you know, I'm a white male of a certain age. And if I get caught here in New Orleans, you know, it's no big deal. They just write you a ticket. But let's say you're an African-American person and the cop wants to hassle you or something. Let's say you get busted with a joint and you've got 2 other strikes on you, then it's very possible you'll just go to jail forever. Yeah, the 3 strikes law. Let's say you had two pot busts when you were like 19 and 17 or something, and you could be 53 years old, and the cop was just a jerk, and he caught you with a couple of joints on you. They could put you in jail, and they just put you in jail like for technically pretty much the rest of your life. And it's an absolute shame, and it happens here in Louisiana all the time, and it's wrong. Now, when I was a young man, you tempted fate just to get yourself high, and you hid it good from everyone that you knew, and from the cops you were terrified. Well, they got all kinds of smoke now, not just the Mexican go love you, yo. But in cash-strapped states around the nation, they gave up on that gold war, drug war. Well, it's hard for me to realize this change up in attitude. Today it's like a medicine prescribed to change your mood. Well, it wasn't that long ago, friends, and to illustrate my point, well, your life was literally ended if they were caught poor with a single joint. Just a single joint, that was all you had, but they could ruin your life but good. And the ugly truth is that your only crime is that you're from the wrong neighborhood. Well, the rich boy, well, he can do as he likes, 'cause the cops, it's well understood. But for a single joint and a being poor, well, they can ruin your life for good. True story. I got a friends up in Oklahoma sitting in a jail cell today for being the wrong skin color, and found a judge they could not sway. Well, can you imagine how they feel now? To see that same joint legal today. And the rich boy, he is prospering with his dispensary. True. Yeah, there's far too many families, once strong now but broken apart. And the judges fill up them prisons, private sector takes them a la carte. Well, your overworked offender, well, he was not much help, and alone in the court you stood. before a single joint. And being brown, well, they can ruin your life for good. Well, with a single joint. And being poor, well, they can ruin your life. They done it your good. Terrebonne Parish, do a little research. It's evil. It's bad news, ladies and gentlemen. Bad news. So, once again, I'm singing you some songs right now from my release called Songs for the Hangman's Daughter, which you can find on Bandcamp. If you go to Jew of Oklahoma Bandcamp, you can find not just my solo material, but also material that I've been putting out for over 20 years of all kinds of music, Texas music, Jewish music, all sorts of things. I'd be really, if you would do me the favor of going over there and taking a look after we're done. Maybe you'll find some music. By the way, I want to mention that my music, this record, is free. It is a free download. I am very proud of my music, and I would like you to have it. So if you feel moved to pay for it, you're more than welcome to do so. But I'm very proud, and I'd like you to have my music. So if you want to look it up, I'll put a link to it down there later. And that's all I care to say about that. Also, you know, there's this word. It's called cultural appropriation, and that's always bummed me out. This concept called cultural appropriation, and I'm kind of sick of it. I'm sick of the concept. I'm sick of the practice. I'm sick of talking about it. I'm sick of explaining it to people. So, once again, I kind of put it into a song. And this is called the Royal Street Shuffle. And once again, you can find it on there, and it speaks for itself. I don't know if you noticed, but I don't really write songs. I just write ideas that have musical backing put behind it. So, once again, Royal Street Shuffle. I knew a Zulu drumming master with complexion alabaster, made his living teaching African percussion. Well, he studies every beat, but he can beat a quick retreat if you wish to challenge his appropriations. It can be a shock if somebody tells you no. Well, there seems to be a fad amongst the moneyed college grads to emulate the lines of southern po folks. In their banjos and their boots at the White Horse they scoot, emulating folks they don't much care for. In college they ain't got no course on no. Well, there's a strange fascination amongst the gals across the nation to think they are a Cherokee princess with a crown of feathers on their head, think the native's safely dead, but the trail of tears their family never dealt with. From the reservation I hear a buffalo moan no. Have you ever heard a no? Found no place that you cannot go? Is everything here laid out for your pleasure? With your privilege you might exert untold pain and countless hurt, gentrifying yet another cultural treasure. Have you ever, tell me, ever heard no? There's a hobo Balkan band in the backyard jam, playing songs they learned from old dance records. Do they care or even wonder about the folks from who they plunder? All those awful trials those people had to suffer. From a mass grave outside Srebrenica, I heard niet. The Caucasian bluesman sat with dark glasses and a hat, 1,000 miles away from any delta. Says he come up from the south, a bogus accent in his mouth. But you know, these urban folks, they don't care to know the difference. You you don't hear much. You don't hear much, no. Have you ever heard a no? Found no place you can't go? Is everything laid out here for your pleasure? With your privilege, you just might exert countless pain and untold hurt, gentrifying yet another cultural treasure. Can you have you no manners at all? Whoops. Yep. That's all I got to say about that. So, how far are we into it? Oh, we're halfway through our little visit. We're halfway through our visit. Is everybody having a good time? This is my little book. Wow, I'm halfway through my tunes. Everything's working out great. So, I'm glad everybody, once again, I want to thank New World Deli for allowing me this opportunity. And this is really fun. I haven't actually performed this material in a year and a half. So I'm really rusty. So let's do some more material, shall we? On my first record, I recorded a record tune about Leo Frank. Does anybody know about Leo Frank? Oh no, that's too heavy. After that, let's lighten it up, shall we? Let me tell you about the story about how I left Austin. There's a saying in Oklahoma, and I think it's in Texas too, and it goes, "What does a divorce and a tornado have in common?" Some old cowboy's going to lose a house. And so what happened to me was I got upside down in my mortgage, and I lost my job, and I got a divorce. Like bing, bing, bang, all at the same time. So I had all of my accumulated wealth of my life drained, and I lost my house all at the same time. And so then Austin changed, and the ability to play live music and keep that sustainable kind of went away. So I wrote a song about it. True story. Well, the boss man called me up the other day. I gotta take another key off your keychain. He says it's really hard for me to have to say I gotta take another key off the keychain. Well, you've been downsized and all your crap is in a box. Take another key off the keychain. Well, goodbye and good luck. Ain't writing no reference. Take another key off the keychain. I had a keychain. They used to open lots of doors, but now they don't do that no more. Keychain, the keychain. And now I'm just presented with locks. Well, that's what's happened. Well, the repo man, he called me the other day. He took another key off my keychain. And so it was a mighty sweet ride, but he's hauling it away. Take another key off the keychain. Well, you made good payments, but you got behind. Take another key off the keychain. If you be so kind, take another key off the keychain. I get the keychain. They used to open lots of doors, but now they don't do that no more. Keychain. And now in the box. used to open lots of doors, now they don't do that no more. Keychain, keychain, now they don't dance a lot. You know, Christopher, I'm so sorry. I shouldn't really read this. Yes, it's a happy song. It's a happy song about sadness. I apologize. I shouldn't really read the comments while I'm playing. I like my sad songs to be upbeat. I'm Jewish. Our songs are all sad, but they sound happy. That's our whole deal. Okay, I promise. I promise now I'll sing you a happy song. Is a deal? Once again, sing songs you know about. Got no say in my day. Seems like nothing's gonna go my way, so I gotta get high so that I can survive. When the pain of life gets rough, you're gonna find me reaching for the powerful stuff so that I can get high. It's my means to survive. Just like a bear with its honey or a cat with its nip. Well, if you hang out with me, friends, you'll get a first-class one-way trip. Well, when the rooster crows, where I get, nobody knows where I got to get high with some random guy. Just like a bear with its honey or a cat with its nip. Well, friends, if you were paying attention in the first part, you realize it's a first-class one-way trip. Well, when the rooster crows, well, nobody knows when to get high with some random guy. Wah, 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 wah. Wah, 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 wah. A little more upbeat, huh? Don't you think? All right, so thank you, everybody. Thank you for listening. Thank you for your support. I appreciate you so much. I realize a lot of folks are going to watch this too afterwards, but I'm going to sing you a little song here. It's kind of meaningful to me. For many, many years, playing Appalachian music and country music, which is the music of my nurture. It's not the music of my nature. It's the music of my nurture. I always thought about murder ballads, and that you have a long tradition of murder ballads, and one of those murder ballads was about Little Mary Fagan. And the story about Little Mary Fagan was she was found murdered at a pencil factory in Atlanta, Georgia. And it was quite the sensation. It became kind of like the trial of the century at the time. And they pinned the crime on a guy, on a Jewish fellow. And as it turned out, and it was a sensational trial. And then he was acquitted. And then they drug him, and they out of there, and they lynched him. And there's a ballad about Little Mary Fagan, but there's not one about Leo Frank. So I decided to write one about his murder, and there are details about his murder that folks don't know about. And Fiddlin' John Carson, who is much beloved by people in the Appalachian world, people don't realize what a raging anti-Semite he was and how he contributed to this murder. So it's, they say know your history, and part of the job of an artist is to be the troubadour and to tell stories and let folks know about history. And so this is a tune called The Murder of Leo Frank. Come gather round, people, the story has to tell. I'll sing today of Leo Frank, it's a tale not known so well. Well, you might have heard the ballads, or you might have sung the song about poor little Mary Fagan and how it was that she was wrong. Well, my story's not about the crime, about the so-called trial, when Leo Frank, the innocent, was found guilty at a given time. Leo Frank's been gone, but his memory lingers on. Convicted by all press accounts, railroaded by the court, thousands came from all around for life to make sport. And out on the courthouse steps, old John Carson could be heard making songs right up on the spot for the people gathered there. He sang, let's hang that little Jew, let's hang that little Jew, let's hang that little Jew, let's hang that little Jew. It was the 17th of August, it was on that fateful day, 6 cars filled up with angry men to the Mitchville prison came. Well, they drained the gas tanks of the cops, cut down the telephone wires, and cuffed the friendly warden, and with Frank they bid goodbye. It was out in Marietta, at a spot did they prepare. There's an old oak tree and a rickety branch and a rickety old chair. Old Leo Frank's been gone, but his memory lingers on. And when the killing had been done, all the men they gathered round to get a picture of themselves with Frank's body dangling down. There were prominent politicians, the sheriff, policemen too, prominent politicians, and the captain of the local scout troop. We're the Knights of Mary Fagan, how the Klezmer cried with glee, burned a cross on Old Stone Mountain for all the world to see. They said, we hung that little Jew, we hung that little Jew. Come on, we hung that little Jew. Yeah, well, they hung that little Jew. Well, the Jews of old Atlanta, well, they thought they'd had it made, but now hundreds fled old Georgia for the safety of a northern state. There'll be no menorah in your window, no more sukkah built outside. Them's that did not lead right out, learned to hide it deep. Oh, they hid it deep. Oh, they hid it deep down inside. Leo Frank's been gone, but his memory lingers on. Oh, little Mary Fagan song, John Carson can we thank. The next time you're at services, say a Kaddish for Leo Frank. palate cleanser. I played you some Yiddish banjo numbers there for you. Some music generally associated with Yiddish dance music, also referred to by some folks as klezmer music, which I have transcribed for the banjo. Yeah, not a lot of folks doing that. That's going to be featured on my newest record, which I was just in Austin, Texas, just last week, recording at a great studio that you have there called Six String Ranch. And I was recording with Matt Smith. Very, very, very proud of the record that we cut there. I'm going to sing you a song from that right now. I took a lot of poetry from some of the great Yiddish poets, and then transcribed it, made my own translations in English, but I didn't make slavish translations. I made my own translations into English that were more, how shall we say, culturally, contextually correct and culturally, what's the word I'm looking for? To make it more sense to English speakers, to still get the point across. I'm a little scattered. I apologize. I haven't played this material in front of people. That was a debut, ladies and gentlemen. I've never played that in front of people. I've never played this one in front of anybody either. I'm real proud of it. And it's a song for the times. The original poem is called A Tog van Nechama, which means a day of revenge. That's the name of this song. And I think it's a song for the times. Die, 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 die. Listen close to what I say. There'll come a time, there'll be a day, and though it seems so far away, I promise that we'll make them pay. There'll be revenge for all the suffering and pain, revenge for those who still remain. Oh, that day will come along when we right each every wrong. There'll be revenge for the widows, orphans, it must suffice, for the millions blood, sin, sacrifice. Our prophets cry out for us to awake, for retribution so shall we take. We'll have our revenge for the suffering and pain, revenge for those who still remain. Oh, that day will come along when we right each every wrong. We'll have our revenge. Die, 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 die. Mankind will turn its back on war. I can see it clear on a distant shore. It comes to us like Noah's dove, a message of kindness, peace, and love. That's our revenge for the suffering and pain, revenge for those who still remain. Oh, that day will come along when we right each every wrong. That's our revenge. Yeah, man. Great poem. I want to sing you another one. Another poem by the same poet. Hey, Christopher, I don't want to bum you out. But I I've released this song as a single. Once again, I'm very, very proud of it. It's on Bandcamp. I want you to have it. You may download it for free. If you are so moved, you may pay for it if you are so moved. Also, if you are so moved, I have a Venmo and I have a PayPal. If you are so moved, I'm not into this for money. You can tell by my lyrical content, I am really not in this for money. I would just much rather prefer that these words get out there. And from your notes that you're sending me, it's very, very kind of you. I very, very much appreciate that you are listening and that you are responding. That warms my heart. Thank you very, very much. Appreciate you all, and appreciate you all for supporting live music in the first place. So this is from a poem called S. Brent. I should tell you, Mordecai Gebertig was a Jewish poet. He worked in Poland. This was written in 1938 in response to a pogrom in 1936. He was eventually pushed into the ghetto in Krakow, in Kazimierz, Krakow, and he was murdered as they were cleansing out the ghetto there. Sorry to bum you out, but these are important messages that I think ring true today. This one's called S. Brent, and when I saw the fires when I saw the fires out there in California, and I saw the fires in Portland, and I saw the fires in Minneapolis, and I saw the fires, I thought about the fire, the coming fire, and we saw fires all over. We saw a fire January 6th, and there is work to do. There is work to do. Said it's burning, yes, burning. Everywhere it's burning down, and the clouds are crossed, and you're standing around. It's burning, yes, it's burning. Said it's burning, yes, it's burning. Pick up a bucket, you got the tools. Pick up a bucket, you all damn fools. It's burning. Well, they're going round and taking names, putting every home to the flames. It's burning, burning. And if there was any doubt, there ain't no fireman to put it out. It's burning, it's burning. Yes, it's burning, yes, it's burning. This thing is burning down, but your arms are crossed and you're staring down. It's burning. Well, with our blood, it's burning, it's burning. Yes, it's burning, yes, it's burning. Pick up the bucket, you all damn fools. I think my live feed got a little messed up there. I do apologize. But once again, ladies and gentlemen, this is available as a single, and I sure do appreciate you all listening. Technology has let me down. So once again, my name is Mark Rubin. The name of my act is The Jew of Oklahoma. I have definitely appreciated this time I have spent with you. If you are so moved, I do have a Venmo up there. I tell you what, let me just play you one last number. A little blues number I learned when I was in Texas, and then we'll go home with that. And if you have any questions, comments, or concerns, that's my the PayPal address is also my contact. I love hearing from folks. Communication is part of the deal about being a musician. So I don't have anything like a mailing list or anything like that. But you can follow me on Facebook, and once again, if the good Lord's willing, the creek don't rise. Thanks again to New World Deli and all the folks out there who make this happen. I got the blues in the bottle, blues in the bottle. The stopper's in my hand, Lordy mama. Blues in the bottle, the stopper is in my hand. I said you best go back to Fort Worth, find you a sissy man. That requires some explanation. Ask me later. I said, now dig your tater, dig your tater, 'cause it's tater digging time, Lordy mama. Then dig your tater, tater digging time. I said, now if you don't dig tater, Jack Cross will kill your mind. I said the rooster chews tobacco, the rooster chews tobacco, and the little hen did snuff, Lordy mama. Well, the rooster chews tobacco, the little hen did snuff. I said the little chicks do nothing but go around and strut their stuff. Just to see my ponies run wild. So when you go to Chattanooga, I'm going to Chattanooga just to see my ponies run. I said, now if I win some money, I sure must give my baby some blues in the bottle, blues in the bottle. And with that, ladies and gentlemen, I will let you all go. My name is Mark Rubin. The name of the act is Zoo of Oklahoma. Ask Spirit by name. Accept no substitutes unless, of course, you want to. Gosh, it's been fun. I'm going to go ahead and hit this button that says finish. And I just want to let you know, friend me on Facebook. Say howdy. What the heck? God bless y'all. And I just want to let you know I love y'all unconditionally. Bye-bye, y'all.